Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a video that you guys were highly requesting. Not only that, I really wanted to show you how I did them because I was so obsessed with how they came out. I posted them on my Instagram. I was posting little teasers in black and white because I was so excited to actually post these on my Instagram. And when I did, you guys were DMing me asking for me to do a full tutorial, and I did record it without even knowing the result, and I am so glad I did because, like I said, you guys, this is probably my favorite set I have ever done on myself, and that speaks volumes because I've been doing my own nails for, I don't even know, like over 3-4 years. So yeah, this is my favorite set. So anyways, you guys, please don't forget to like. Let me know what else you guys would like to see. Subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications and keep on watching. Okay, so this video is going to be so much longer than my other ones just because I wanted to keep everything in real time with very little editing, so you guys are actually able to see what I'm doing. So the first thing I did was I sized my nails with the extra long nail tips that I usually use. And also my giveaway winner just got sent her package. So if you guys were wondering, I posted it on my Instagram. And yeah, so using the extra long nail tips, I'm just sizing them on my nails, setting them to the side, and then I go into my prep. So as usual, my prep is pushing the cuticles because obviously for any new growth. And then I'm going in with my Valentino Beauty Pure e-file, putting it on the slowest setting as always because you want to be very careful when it comes to your natural nail. And I'm getting a fine sanding band and just filing all of the nails to remove any of the natural oils that your nails produce. Sorry about the background, you guys. The Bay Area has had some really weird weather lately where it's like super hot and then it's raining and then there's thunder, and right now it's extremely hot. So yeah, that's just my window. So yeah, I'm just gonna be doing that. And like I said, you guys, always have it always have it on the slowest setting when you're working with your natural nails because you don't want to cause any harm to them. They're extremely fragile, and especially me, they're super thin always. So you just have to be very, very careful. And I put it on the number 1 for the Valentino Beauty Pure, which is the slowest that the e-file can go. And you just got to be super careful. Also, get it as close as you can to your cuticle area because you want to remove all those oils from your entire nail. You don't want to miss a spot. But I mean, if you're going to try, and if you do, that's why you're going to use a dehydrator later on. But you're just obviously going to try and remove it all right now. I go right into grabbing my nail duster and dusting off any of the dust, because once you apply your dehydrator and primer, if you have anything on your nails such as dust, it's going to cause lifting. So you have to make sure that you remove all of that before applying these two things to prevent any lifting. So here I am going in with my Mia Secret Dehydrator, which I absolutely love. It dehydrates the nails super good. And then I'm going to be using, as always, my Young Nails Protein Bond, which is the primer. It works amazing. So with these extra long nail tips, it does have a really deep well where if you apply it to the tip of your nail, I don't like the fact that you're able to see like this dip within the extra long nail tips on the nail. So I just cut it off so I am able to place them and glue them at the tip of my nail as close as possible. If not, it would basically cover my whole nail, which is not great because if you were to just apply them like that, then you're basically not applying any acrylic to your natural nail. It's all going on the extra long nail tips, and then that is basically a press-on, if that makes sense. So I just cut it very close to that well that is in the extra long nail tip, and then just glue it to your hand. So for the glue, I am using my KDS glue. I take off the sticker because sometimes when I try to open it, it just rips off all weird. So I just take it off. But this is my KDS nail glue that I buy off of Amazon. But you can also find it at your local nail supply store. When I go to LA, I stock up on a lot as well, but I ran out of those. And so I just got them off of Amazon, and they come in a pack. So I'm just adding a small amount of glue, like a dot, and then I am applying my extra long nails. Now, here is something that I did a little different that I don't usually do when applying nails. I added the dehydrator before applying my tips, which I don't think I've ever done that before. I guess I just messed up. But what I usually do is I take off any oils from my natural nail using the fine sanding band. Then I apply the tips, and then I go right in with the dehydrator and primer. So that was a little different in this video. Please don't come at me. I know I made a small mistake, but it's not really a big deal because it was just dehydrator. So this is what they look like, and I am so obsessed with these nail tips because they're so long, really sturdy, and I have gotten some different extra long nail tips that when you try to cut them, it actually like creates this really big break like within the nail. Like they're just really hard to cut, and these I really like because they almost feel just a tad bit thicker than your usual nail tips. So as you guys know, this is always how I measure my nails. Instead of putting them side by side for me to save some time, I have always had this nail form that I put back to back with another one. So I put them back to back, and I just place it underneath the nail tip, and I look at the number, and that's where I cut it. So for this instance, I'm cutting it at the number 4, which is actually pretty small for me. I usually go to like a 6 or like more. So I am trying a different size, a different length for my nails, and I really liked it because they're not too long and they're perfect for me. Even though some people will say that they are very long, I just don't think they are. And using my same stork scissors, which I get off of Amazon, I'm just cutting off a bit of the side just to save some time and not have to file all that away when I can just cut a little bit of it. And the shape I'm going for is a square / tapered square. I believe it's more of a square, and I really wanted to do that shape. So I just file off the sides, and I'm using an 80/80, or actually this is a 100 file grit, which is from Notpolish, and I do have a discount code with them, which is maira, and you can use it on anything on their website to get anything, and you can put my discount code in and save some money. So like I have always mentioned, if you guys ever use any of my discount codes, which are always linked down below, then just screenshot it, post it on your Instagram, and make sure to tag me in it so I see that you guys are actually using them. I make sure to put the nails side by side just to make sure that they're the same length, shape, and if I need to fix anything, I can of course just do it now instead of waiting till the end, because it'll just be a lot harder. So I'm now using that same fine sanding band that I started off with for my natural nails, and I'm going over the nail tips just because these are a lot thicker and I feel like the acrylic tends to bond better with nails or tips that are not shiny anymore. So it's almost the same thing as your natural nails. The adhesion is different. When I put it right on the nails without any buffing, it seems to run a lot and I don't really like it. So I just do this really fast. It doesn't take too much time. I do it at like the slowest setting as well, or you can do it a little faster since it's not your natural nails, and you can just move right in to applying your dehydrator primer and applying your acrylic powder. This is what they look like all filed and shaped. And then I'm going to go right in with what I mentioned, which is the primer. So what I do is I apply one coat of primer on the entire hand. And since I am not putting a clear base and I'm going right in with my powder, I am doing a second coat on the entire hand. And then I will go individually, like 2 fingers at a time, applying the primer again. Just because I get a little like skeptical of whether or not the acrylic is gonna like stay, or if I took too long on one nail and then by the time I get to the last finger that I applied the primer to, it might not be like as adhesive as, you know, it would be if I apply it again. So that's just my own thing. And the reason why I'm not applying a clear base is because I have mentioned many times before that cover powders are able to stand on its own without any base. It doesn't, you know, create lifting like some normal acrylic colors would, and it also is thick enough to hold on its own and it doesn't stain your natural nail. So I am using Glamorous Nude by Valentino Beauty Pure, and it's my favorite nude ever. And I do have a lot of different nudes, especially from Valentino, but this one seems to be my favorite just because it's not transparent, so it's very like you can see the color well and you don't have to build a color like others do, or the opacity. So I really love this color. And the way I'm applying it is I don't have a specific way of applying an almond bead, or to create the almond look. I either start off with, or I always start off with one big bead. That is the way I apply it. And then I make sure that it's almost like a medium wet bead. Don't make it runny because then it'll be very hard for you to build the thickness of your almond that you need. You need it to be thick because that's where you're gonna put the well, in our case, the foils. So make sure that it is more on the dry side and that you're able to build it and create the shape that you want fast enough so it doesn't dry completely. And I don't know, almonds don't seem to be too hard on me. Like, they're not as hard as I would have thought, but they're not easy either, you guys. So just keep that in mind. Definitely practice, and just for you to get the right shape. At first, when I started off, even though it wasn't hard to build how thick I wanted it, it was hard to keep the same consistent shape. So sometimes mine would be like rounder, some of them would be like skinny. So it was just like having to practice so I'm able to get all of the nails and for them to all look the same, because you are going to be able to see the shape of it because you're applying a different shade or a different color around it. So you're going to be able to see that contrast. I kept a few fingers real time, and then the rest I did fast forward it a little bit just because it is the same exact thing on each nail for this case. And I didn't want you guys to like get bored or something of seeing the same thing over and over. So I just did fast forward it, but I did keep a few fingers. This one was a little bit on the runny side, as you can see. I don't recommend you getting wet beads because it'll spread all over the nail, and that is not what you want. So you just let it sit there for a bit and play around with it once it starts to dry up. But it's way too flat, you guys, so you have to build up that thickness like I have mentioned. And yeah, you can just apply as many beads as you want, not a specific number that you have to use. Eventually you do want to get to a point where you want to keep the beads to a minimum, just so you're able to speed up your time, you know, get your clients out the door as fast as possible, or not as fast as possible, but sooner than normal, instead of you being there for a few hours, like you would be in the beginning. When I first started off, you guys, a full set would take me about 3 hours, and it sounds like a lot for me, but when I would tell my other nail tech friends, they would be like, oh, that's nothing. Like, I would take like 5 hours. I've seen people take 6 hours on a set. And even though it didn't seem like a lot compared, I did want to obviously keep my time down. And I think the lowest it got me was like an hour and a half. Yeah, I think it was like an hour and a half. And I would obviously love to finish a full set with 1 hour. But it's also very hard, you guys, when you are doing acrylic only. If it were polish, gel polish, then yes, you could get them out sooner. But because, you know, all these crazy designs that there are nowadays, you know, Swarovski crystal overload, all these things, they all take time. So don't worry about taking a long time. One, your client should know, or at least be told, you know, that they're going to be there for a while. Especially if you're a beginner, definitely let them know, because you also don't want to have them sit in your chair and have to wait a long time without them knowing. I used to tell my client, or like when my clients used to ask me like, oh, how long does it take? I would let them know, like, you know, I'm gonna give myself some time. Also, don't rush your work. If you are a little bit over on your time, just keep them updated when you're working on it. Like, oh, like, you know, it might take a little bit longer, or, you know, whatever. Because you don't want to tell them an hour and a half and they want something that takes 3 hours, and because you're rushing, it comes out so bad, and then they don't come to you again. So that's why communication between the nail tech and the client is very important, because things change. The times vary. Sometimes when they go to like a shop and it takes them like an hour, they don't get the same things as you do. So like, I know that for a fact. When I used to get my nails done at salons, they used to take maybe like 45 minutes, and they don't look the same as if you were to go to a nail tech where they do like acrylic and they're able to do anything you ask them to do, or Instagram things. So it's very different, and a lot of people do compare nail techs to like working at a shop, but don't let that discourage you, because you know your worth, you know what you're able to show, so it's just not the same. Because this video is pretty long, I am going to give you guys a short story time. I really enjoy watching these on different people's like videos when they're doing nails, so I'm going to give you guys mine of the last time that I went to a nail shop. So if you guys didn't know, I started getting my nails done when I was like 14, and ever since I like turned 14 and a half, or like 15, I got my acrylics done every 2 to 3 weeks, like no exceptions. Never gave my nails a break. I would change my mind on shapes like nobody other. I did go to the same nail tech most of the time, to the same nail shop, but I did, you know, sometimes when she didn't have like availability, I would go like somewhere else, and that was my mistake. She knew exactly what I wanted. She would like take her time. She did so good. I would take her Instagram pictures and she would do like great. It was mostly gel polish. She didn't really use a lot of like acrylic color. But yeah, a lot of the times when I went to different nail places, they would take off the nail using another nail tip. And as you know, that is very common now, and it's horrible for your nails. It's horrible for the strength of your nails, and it just messes it up so bad, you guys. I don't recommend it. I was the type that 1 week wanted almond shape, and then 2 weeks later I wanted stiletto, or the other way around. Or one day I wanted stiletto, and then the next week I wanted square. So I would have to get a new set almost every other week, or at least every other 3 weeks. So there was a time where I went to the nails place, and it was not my usual nail technician. I went in, I asked for a new set, and the lady, she grabbed a nail tip, put it underneath, flipped it up, took off my acrylic. And as you know, this was like a 2-week-old set. It wasn't like very old. It wasn't really grown out. It was 2 weeks. So it was basically new. And my nails don't grow too fast. So it hurt so bad, you guys. I can't even tell you. To the point where I told her after the second nail to like not do it anymore. But she was like, no, we're almost done. So I was like, oh my God, okay. Like I was like about to start crying. As she got to my pinky has always been like very weak, and because I have always been a nail biter, she got to the pinky, did the same thing, and half of my pinky went up with it. And when I'm telling you, my nail bled like crazy. It stung, it hurt, all of the above. I was so like infuriated, you guys. But I was like, I don't know, I was probably like in high school, like 16 years old, and I was so pissed off, you guys. Half of my nail was on that nail. It literally snapped, it cracked, and there was blood everywhere. And the only thing she did was grab the napkin and held it down, had a pressure on it, and told me it was okay. I was so pissed. I was like crying because of how mad I was. I couldn't even feel the pain at that point because how mad I was. And the thing is, before, I never spoke up if I liked it, if I was mad, whatever it was. I never said anything. So she literally still made me pay, you guys. She made me pay for my removal of nails. And that was the very, very last time that I ever got nails at a nail shop. I started doing my own nails after that, and never looked back since. I have not gone back to a nail shop unless I get my pedicure, and recently I started doing my own like acrylic pedicures too. I've been doing those for a while, so I haven't gone back to a nail shop to do my acrylics on my hands, like my nails. So that's my little story time. I've heard some really like horror stories of nail experiences, and let me just tell you guys, you're not alone. Like, it happens to most of us, and I see them on Instagram or like on YouTube, like story times, and they're pretty bad. Now, I'm not saying all of the places are like this. It's definitely only a certain, because I used to love my nail tech. I still go visit her sometimes, and she's like so sweet. She's so talented, and it has nothing to do with the nail shop. It just has to do with the nail technician and what they choose to do. There's been times where I've been like told, where I want to go get a removal, and I tell them like I want to do it in acetone, like dip it in, and then you take your time so you're able to take it off safely. And they'll tell me no. They'll be like, no, that's not the way we do it. It takes too long. And they just don't want to do it because it does take a long time. But it also salvages the health of your nails. It keeps them nice. And, that's ultimately what you want. Just had to put that out there. And I had never talked about that on like YouTube or anything, but that is bad. Like, and I've seen so many other people that have relatable stories. So let me know down below if you've gotten this far into the video and listening to my story. Let me know down below if you have ever had an experience like that at a nail shop or with a nail technician, or with a nail tech, where you got scarred. Okay, so back to the video. After I was done with the nude acrylic, and after it was completely dry, I grabbed the file and just kind of sharpen it around, so make it very round in the shape that I want. It's very minimal, you don't have to do a lot. And then you dust off all that, and then you go into the foils. So a lot of people have been asking me where I got my foils, and I am here to tell you. I got them from Joann's. I got them a few weeks ago. They came super fast, and they were on sale. I think I got all 4 of these for like less than $15, which is so good. I used to buy them on Amazon. They used to be like little like half-ounce containers, and they used to be pretty pricey. So this holds so many. Like, this has so much foil inside. It's crazy, and the colors are beautiful. I had never seen like two of these, the pink one and like the rose gold one. I had never seen those, or I had actually seen the orangey one, never seen the pink one. So I was so excited when I saw that one, and I had to get them. They do come individually, and they are on sale, so you can't use like the normal coupons that you're able to use, but they're so inexpensive, you guys. Also, I had mentioned before that my phone storage is completely full. I don't know how I went through like 256 gigabytes in such little time that I've had this phone, but I did. And I've always had that problem. Whenever I get a new phone, I always go through the storage like nothing, like so fast. I take so many pictures. I have over like 5,000 pictures right now, I think. I just always take so many pictures, and I'm a picture hoarder. I don't like deleting anything. So the first nail that I did, the pinky, I was in the middle of the video, and then the like iPhone storage full notification popped up, and it just didn't even save it. So as soon as that happened, I had to delete like 50 videos, like random videos. I didn't even want to look at them because I'm gonna be like, no, I don't want to delete that one, I want that one. So I just deleted like some really fast, so I was able to finish with this video. That is what I have to do, you guys, to make videos for you guys until I figure out a way. I did see a few comments on my last video of you guys letting me know how I can have more storage, so thank you for that. But yeah, so I am applying the foil, and the way I apply it and the way it sticks is you apply a small bead of clear acrylic to the entire part where you're gonna put the foils, and it was gonna take too much time for me to individually like take out the foils. So all I did is I dipped like the brush into the foils and then just applied it to my nails, and then after a while it does get dry, obviously, the clear acrylic, so you just apply another layer on top of the foil that's already on there if you need any other pieces. And just take your time with this, you guys. You don't want to overlap it with the nude part because it is going to show once you encapsulate, and you also don't need it to be as thick as the nude. So the nude does have to be thicker, like way thicker, because the foil isn't going to add any thickness, and neither you don't want the clear acrylic to add any thickness as well. You want basically just to wet it enough so it can stick on there, but you don't want any thickness because you're going to encapsulate with clear acrylic, and that is what you want the most of. So when you go in and file, you don't file away any of the foils. You definitely don't want that. And I just did them different colors. I did ask you guys on my Instagram what colors you guys wanted to see me do for this tutorial, and you guys told me, or most of you guys said, all of the above. So that is what I did. On the pinky, I used the silver. On the ring finger, I used the gold. The middle finger, I think that one is like called pink. I'm not 100% sure, but they are linked down below. And on the pointer finger is like the copper. And on the thumb is where I mixed them all together. And that is the colors that I used. So now that I am done applying the foil on all of the nails and I'm happy with how it looks, I'm going to go in with the clear acrylic to encapsulate. And I always do this. I get questions as to when I encapsulate. And honestly, I always encapsulate when I'm using any colored acrylic, anything that you add into the nails. Basically, anytime I'm applying acrylic, I encapsulate with clear, unless I am using cover acrylics because they are able to stand on their own and there's no need to encapsulate. I feel like they're thick enough. Almost all cover acrylic should be thick enough to stand on its own, but colored acrylics come a little like thinner, and they're more on the thin side when you apply the acrylic. So to get the thickness that you want, you definitely want to encapsulate with clear. You're able to add as much as you want, and then once you file, to make a smooth base for the top coat, you know, you're not going to be able to tell when you take off clear acrylic, because if you were wanting to do a set with one of those gold like metal hearts that go into the nail, I've done sets with them before and I hope you know what I'm talking about, and you apply it once you're done with the acrylic application and you don't encapsulate with clear acrylic, when you go in with the file, because that is a step that you will need to do, you're going to take off the entire thing that you just placed because it was not encapsulated, so it was not underneath like that coat of clear acrylic. And it's basically what you need. If you go in with the file and file off a lot of the clear, you're not going to be able to tell, so you definitely always need that. So for this set, I'm using the Mia Secret clear acrylic. I absolutely love using it. I've been using it ever since I started in the nail world. You can get this stuff anywhere, on Amazon, on eBay, at your local nail supply store. So you can find this very easily, and it's a very, very, how do you say it? Affordable. I couldn't think of the word. It's very affordable, and it comes in like really big containers, so it can last you a very long time. And that is what I'm going to be using here. So as you see, I always look at my nails from the sides just to make sure it's what I am looking for. And I'm also applying as many beads as I need. There's no 3-bead method or anything like that, especially when you have longer nails. So just use as many beads as you need to. Go in, look at it from the sides if it's too bumpy. But if it is too bumpy, you guys, don't always add more acrylic, because sometimes it just has to do with filing, and filing is going to fix it. Basically, if there's any bumps or imperfections in the nail, when you go in with the hand file or the e-file, it's going to take off that bulk and make it smooth. So it'll all be fine. Here I am done, and the nails are good to go. It is so beautiful like this, you guys. Like the matte, I feel like that can be a set also, but all that time and work is basically for me to show how they are foils. So I don't think matte would have worked this time, because I definitely want to show the colors and how beautiful they are. So I am filing now. And I always go in with the hand file first, just to file the sides and like all the corners, the sides, the top, everything. I don't hand file the top usually, just because it does take a long time for me. And I like to get very, very close to the cuticle area to seal it. So for that, I use the e-file. So I just go over all of them with this notpolish file. And I do have a discount code with them. It's maira, and it's in the description box. But yeah, this is a 100/100 file grit. And as you know, before I used to only use 80/80, which I still do occasionally, because I feel like it gets the work like done so fast. But I wouldn't recommend it for beginners, as it is very, very coarse. So if you get too close to the cuticle area or things like that, then you can definitely hurt your client. And it's not good for like the cuticle area part if you're going to be hand filing, because you can cut yourself as well. Like, it is that coarse. And never use a coarse drill or a coarse file on the natural nail. Always use a fine grit sanding band or a fine grit nail file. It's like when you're using it on a natural nail. When I was filing that middle finger, I realized that I did not like how like flat it looked towards the cuticle area. So I went back and applied another bead of clear acrylic, and that basically fixed it. So while I was waiting for that to dry up so I could go in and file it, I went in with this sanding block that I always go in with. It's the purple one. I'm not sure what grit it is, you guys, but it's the one I've always been using. I don't think it's the fine one, as it feels kind of coarse, but I could be wrong. So I just go over the entire nails because it leaves like a really, really smooth surface, and I love that. So then I just file anything, and then here I am going back to the middle finger, which I, applied that acrylic to at the very last minute. And this is what they look like, all filed and ready to get top coated. So I just dust everything off with the dust brush, and then we are going to use the top coat. This time I am using my notpolish Gloss It gel top coat, and I absolutely love it. I'm basically already done with one whole container of this Gloss It, but I do have more, so that's good. But yeah, I finished it, and I've been using it every single day with all of my nails, all of my practice nails. So it's really, really nice, and I really like the consistency of it. It's not too runny, but it's also not too thick, so I really love it. Also, don't mind my crusty cuticles. Right now they look crazy because all of the work I've been putting on the nails, like the acrylic makes them very dry, and then the sanding band going around, and just all the mixture of everything basically, or like the file maybe hitting the around it, whatever, all of that mixed together, like it makes them look like this. But don't worry, once I dry up, I didn't want to add any kind of liquid to my hand. I don't like doing that before like the application for the top coat, because sometimes it leaves some spots where the moisture meets the gel polish. So I just apply the top coat. Don't even worry about my cuticles. I cure them for 60 seconds, and once it's all cured, I apply cuticle oil to my cuticles. And you guys, a friendly reminder, always make sure to apply cuticle oil to your cuticles. It's very important. It's never bad to use it often. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I always use it every single day before I go to sleep. I just apply a dot to each nail, and then I rub it into my cuticle area, and it leaves it so soft and moisturized. So I definitely recommend you guys using cuticle oil. There's so many places that have them, so many people on Instagram that sell them as well. So here is the one I'm using, and I just apply a little bit, and a little bit goes a long way. And this is just my personal one, you guys. I don't use any on other people with the brush, so just wanted to put that out there. So here is the final result of my foil French tips. I absolutely love them. I had not seen this before. I'm not sure if anybody has. They probably have, but I had never seen this done before, so I really wanted to try it out. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope they helped you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.